Hello, it's Jay, aka Birdie. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. Today I'm going to do a little villager yard build. First, just a little update. Since my intro video, I have done a bit of terraforming over here. I kind of made the cliffs match the winding path. And then when I got to the end of the build that I'm going to show you today, I kind of realized like, hey, I didn't really leave room for a staircase to go down. So I might have to switch all of that up, but oh well. And then over here, I did have like houses in behind, and I had Poppy's house next to Mo's house, but that's all gone. We just have Mo's house left, and we're going to be building sort of over in this empty space next to it. I'm gonna do like, I think a farm and a dining table sort of thing, because Mo is this character that is always talking about snacks and loves food. So I thought it would be cute to do something food-ish for him. So let's get into it. Okay, so all those flowers are the result of some time traveling that I did. Recently, I time traveled an entire year trying to get a specific villager to ask to leave, and that villager did not ask once, not a single time. And in the process, all of those flowers showed up, and I'm sure you can imagine that I had double the weeds, and so that was so much work. I was gonna say I'll never time travel that much again, but I won't say never. Okay, so this is me deliberating between the dark dirt path and the light dirt path and being really unsure, like, what looks more like garden dirt? Should I do both? Could it be a mix? I don't know. I went back and forth. In the end, I went with the darker dirt path, and at one point I thought, oh, maybe I'll alternate between the dark and the light because I like the amount of space that gets left in between them. But my original plan was to do crops and then flowers and then crops and then flowers. I decided against that in the end because I wanted to be able to like walk between the sort of rows of crops. But thinking back now, I'm like, oh, maybe I should have alternated between dark and light dirt. I don't know. I mean, I like how it is now, which you shall see soon. This is me trying to get back to that space quicker, and it probably took the same amount of time as going to the staircase. And then yeah, once I put the stacked bags and the wheelbarrow thing down, I kind of didn't like how squinched everything was over by the tree. So I decided to move the entire plot kind of over just one square basically. For this particular farm setup, I decided to just go with 3 of the crops. I thought about also adding potatoes, but they aren't as colorful, and I wanted to keep this somewhat vibrant up here. I mean, maybe vibrant is the right word, but I definitely wanted color up here. And I sort of like the way that the white pumpkin pops the most next to the tomatoes specifically. And then of course, carrots have color to them as well. So that's what I stuck with up here. But I mean, I might do farms elsewhere on the island. I don't know yet. I enjoyed building this one, so. That part made me so angry while I was actually doing it. Okay, not angry, but I was just like, oh, of course, because I meant to pick up the stool, and of course I accidentally picked up the pumpkin. And so now in the final product, there's a missing pumpkin. So rude, Birdie. While I was doing this path, I think there's a lot of spots where I'm like pausing and not stalling, but like just lost in thought, because I was starting to think like, should I shake up the custom paths that I have? Like I do have a couple of different ones here and there, but this is my main one. And I was like, oh, is it getting too, like, is it too saturated? Should I try something else? But I don't know. Like I feel like I don't have an eye for the paths that can get mixed really nicely. I don't know. Do you guys mix your paths a lot? Are you doing like a couple of different styles? I would love to know. Also, speaking of the comment section, thanks to everyone that's been so lovely so far. I really appreciate it. It's like super heartwarming, really nice. And if anybody has an island that they'd like me to come and visit, I'm actually looking, I need some inspiration for other villager yards. So if you've done some villager yards that you think could be inspiring to others, leave your dream address in the comments, please and thank you, because I would love to come visit. I'm I mean, I have ideas, but I need more. Does anyone else get like a slight bit of anxiety looking at their inventory? I've been to Treasure Island and I just sort of went nuts and like picked up so much stuff because I was like, well, and then I'll have it, you know, like might as well get it because then I'll have it. But now I look at my inventory and I'm like, oh my God, I need to clean up, and I don't want to have to clean up in my game. I don't want to have to clean up in my real life. Thank goodness for the extended storage. So this is me potentially looking for a second table that I could put just the cornucopia on. That way I could also have like the veggie quiche and the veggie sandwich, because I did want to incorporate like a lot of food, but I didn't have another ranch table and I didn't have another like ranch item besides the low table that was in the blue color, and I didn't really feel like that went with everything that I already had going on. So ultimately I scrapped that, but that was me searching through the storage for so long, being like, what can I use instead? What can I put this cornucopia on? And is it just me, or is it super annoying that the brick oven is like 1.5 squares, I guess? So like nothing fits neatly in front of it. It's kind of like how the museum, you can't like have like a staircase or an incline that leads right up to the middle of it. It's, ugh. For those of us that love symmetry, it's a bit of a nightmare. sometimes you just gotta keep pushing tables and chairs until you figure out that ultimately you hate the way those bottles look. And that was a waste of time. So this is me trying to switch things up with the path, and then I'm like, oh, it's so boxy and like it's too straight. We should do something different. But I mean, ultimately I like that there's something a little bit different. I don't know if it totally works. I might get rid of it later, but it added something. I really wish you could put rugs outside. I mean, I know I could get like a custom design, and maybe that's what I'll do. If you guys have any suggestions for custom designs that look sort of like an outdoor rug type of thing, I would love to hear your suggestions. But yeah, that's what I definitely would have put, like a nice big like area rug under the table or something, and then like a mat by the brick oven. But ultimately I was like, I don't know, I'll just try these little custom path designs for now, just to sort of fill it up and add some dimension sort of. And then here is where I decided to go back and actually extend the cliff behind Mo's house and garden. I felt like the area needed a little bit of trees in the background. It was feeling a little empty and bare, so I had to extend the cliff to make room. I had to jump forward a few times because I realized that I didn't have enough of that particular size tree. And then I tried to get away with just putting a bush there, but I knew it wasn't gonna work. And here we are, Mo's farm, or Mo's garden maybe is more appropriate. I jumped ahead a little bit just to make that last tree the right size and to make sure that white pumpkin was fully grown in again. But yeah, final product. I'm happy with it. I do feel like there's maybe a blank space behind Mo's house, but I'm hoping that whatever kind of fits in behind there, whatever I end up doing there, might just sort of fill in the space naturally. We shall see. Let me know what you think, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.